Hello again, my dudes, welcome back to the channel. This is Karim, and in this video I'm going to show you from start to finish, except for the cutscenes, how to defeat Erlang, the Sacred Divinity, the secret boss in Chapter 3, which will allow you to complete Wukong's secret ending, the true ending. Now, to access this boss fight, there must a few steps that must be completed. You have to complete all secret areas of Chapter 1, 2, 4, and 5. And you have to have completed the Treasure Hunter quest. Now, when it comes to Erlang himself, my strategy is very simple. You have to be patient, you have to be aggressive, but you also have to manage your resources wisely. I like, at the beginning of the fight, to pop a little potion to boost my health, just so I don't have to use my gourd as much, and I also like to buff my damage negation, and my critical hit chance, as you've just seen consuming those pills. I focus my strategy on being aggressive, doing light attacks and light attack combos, and getting dodges and perfect dodges as much as I can. I do not use mana unless it's an absolute emergency, such as I am about to get hit and killed, but my priority is to build my focus points as quickly as possible so I can do heavy attacks. During the first stage, he will actually not dodge your heavy hits, unless you timed it incorrectly, like I did, and I just got interrupted. But he will not dodge them. During stage 2, 3, and 4, he will simply dodge them if you use heavy attacks while he is just standing there. You will have to do this in the middle of one of his attacks or in the middle of one of his combos if you want your heavy hits to actually connect. Now, take notice that again I am being aggressive, but simultaneously I am being clever, not using any of my resources, none of my mana, none of my spirit, and also definitely not my fan. I want to save these resources for when the time is right. Now that stage 1 is completed, I'm going to pop up another pill to boost my damage, and another one to boost my critical, and another one to boost my damage negation, and I just dodge the axe, dodge towards him, and immediately start doing damage again. This not only damages his actual HP bar because he's not blocking, but also does damage to his guard. I got an immobilize spell just so I can land a nice heavy charged attack, which damages not only his HP as you've seen, but also his guard bar. And I want to damage both things at the same time as much as possible. Now, the spirit here was used perfectly, again because he was about to attack me, so not only I interrupted him, but I actually caused HP damage and guard damage with the simple use of the spirit. Again, I'm dodging here everything I can. Of course, I make mistakes. I'm not trying to be perfect here, but my focus is on damaging, remaining close to him as much as possible, and if I get hit, play wisely so I can heal in a safe way. This is now the end of stage 2, and I want you to notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the game so I can consume another potion of health. This is just because during stage 3 I want to have that comfort that I don't have to worry about my health. During stage 3 I want to unleash hell upon him. I just used my transformation here by mistake. I wasn't planning to, but not a problem, it didn't mess up my strategy. I now consume the pill that increases attack, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance, and as soon as he lands, after you strive to the right to avoid his swords, he lands with his heavy attack. I use the fan, I use Pluck of Many, I come to my menu to consume a Septenario Fire so I can cast Pluck of Many one more time, so I am surrounded by duplicates, and so is he. And now with the fan and my immobilize, we are all doing damage to him. They are also using immobilize because I have Pluck of Many fully upgraded, and I am also getting my focus points up with the damage from the duplicates. This allows me to now do a 4 focus full charge attack, which will interrupt him despite him being in the sky. I don't mind getting that attack because, as I said, I consumed that health pill for a reason. One simple use of my gourd recovers about 75% of my HP, so I'm good to go. Even now I am on my own now, I am completely able to finish him off. Now for the actual phase 2 of fighting Erlang, when you have to fight the 4 kings. I strongly suggest that you either focus on the guy with the sword or the guy with the umbrella. I tend to focus on the guy with the sword simply because the game has bugged quite a few times for me doing this stage, that for some reason the guy with the sword just wouldn't die. But my preference would be, of course, to go for the guy with the umbrella, because the moment you kill the guy with the umbrella, you get the ice breath upgrade, which will cover your hands with ice, allowing you to do more damage. I want you to take notice of something else here. I am only using light attacks. I do not use heavy attacks because I want to get my focus points as charged as much as possible. This is because when you use a 4 focus or a 3 focus points heavy attack, you will have a massive leap from the air that causes not only a lot of damage to the enemies, but most importantly, it will heal you. And this basically makes you unkillable during this stage. You should not die during this stage at all, and also you shouldn't be able to allow yourself to get killed against Erlang in the next stage. Again, I'm focusing on the guy with the sword. I'm using rock solid to parry his hits whenever I can, and I am building focus as explained. I am trying to get this guy down a bit more, but then I decided to finish the sword guy first because he's the one that tends to bug. As you see, he already looks like he's bugged because he's not taking any damage, so I'm trying to get the cutscene to trigger, which for some reason the game was still bugged, and is still bugged when it comes to that. He's not taking any damage despite my many hits. So I'm hoping that a specific attack might get him to finally take damage, and the killing him death scene finally starts. I use the heavy attack and I finally get him to die, despite all the damage that he wasn't taking anymore, and therefore the delay in getting this done. Once sword guy is dead, the others don't tend to bug that much, so I'm in the clear. I'm gonna focus my attention on the guy with the umbrella. This is because I want to get the ice buff on my fists so I can do more damage and get it over with a bit faster. Again, only light attacks, parrying whenever I can just to get a bit extra focus, and then I do a little heavy hit just to refill my HP, and there you go. As soon as this cutscene starts, you know he's dead and he's going to move on to the afterlife. As soon as this is over, he's going to attack you, but this is all cutscenes, you don't have to do anything. Just enjoy watching the Godzilla guys fight. Now that the guy with the umbrella is dead, time to focus my attention on the guy with the pet dragon, or long. Ice breath to boost my damage, and as you can see, each punch now does a little bit more damage, and it makes the fight a little faster. Now this guy is gonna go as well. And now that this one is gone, it's time to focus on the guy with the guitar, who happens to be the weakest of them all. Ice breath to get my damage buffed. Just throw him a couple of light attacks and he's dead in no time. Again, during this stage, during second phase and third phase of the entire fight, when you become the big stone monkey, I continue to say it's almost impossible to die. Just do light attacks, dodge as required, you can even dodge multiple times in a row, and then just use heavy hits and you will heal your HP almost fully. Use rock solid, use ice breath to boost your damage, and heavy attacks when needed, not only for the damage but most importantly to heal. As you can see, I already got one focus point back. I do the parry, gives me another focus point. I remain aggressive. And there's another parry, which gives me another focus point. Dodging. I'm gonna use Ice Breath to focus and do more damage. This is all cutscene. Again, light attacks to build up focus. When he does this fire breath on his sword, just parry it straight away because he always attacks shortly after. Ice breath to boost the damage. My rock solid is back up. I'm gonna do it again. My focus points are now fully up as well. I'm gonna skip this cutscene. Rock solid as soon as this new chapter starts. Ice breath, and then a heavy hit just to get him on the ground. When he does this, you can parry, but it will not interrupt his attacks. So I suggest that after the parry, you start dodging like there's no tomorrow. This is another cutscene. Nothing I can do to stop it. Again, on the aggressive side, buff my damage, dodge all of these whip attacks, and then back onto the punching line. Got a nice parry there, but as I said, it doesn't really stun him, so I decided to go with a heavy hit instead, which will not only stun him, but also interrupt him. Again, bad parry because the parry does not block the X, only the sword. There you go, another parry despite being a bit late. Ice breath. And then he's gonna do another cutscene which leads most people to believe that they just died. And you just heard a nice piece of rare dialogue. Erlang only says what he just said if you perform really well against him. This last sentence, however, is pretty common. Once you get the fire buff, I mean, it's all in. Just destroy him. There's nothing he can do. Use your rock solid, use your punches, use your heavies, and that's all you're gonna need. Heavy attack, kick to the face, another double punch with a heavy attack with 3 points. This is a cutscene, so nothing I can do to stop it. Best parry in the world. Staying aggressive, I mean the fight is pretty much over, you can see it for yourselves. I have never been in danger of losing, and neither should you, if you use my method. Another easy rock solid. And then, when he's nearly finished, all my heavy points are up, so I just decided to finish him off with a heavy. And this is pretty much it. Let's take a look at the build. I'm using Jingle Bang, the Platin Fane, the Wandering Wit, the full set for Wukong. I actually realized I had changed that by mistake. I still managed to succeed, but this is the one that you should be using. Supreme Gourd with Monkey Brew, the Bee Mountain Stone, Celestial Lotus Seeds, etc. My choice of relics. And of course, my Sparks allocation, which I suggest you use as same as me. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope this gives you some insight on how to fight him, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Cheerio!